Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the coaches out there. Dermot Butterly here, the Erickson business building expert. We're going to be talking today in the Coaches Café about the 5 things that coaches must stop doing if they want to create a prosperous coaching business. But before all of that, I must have some chai. All right, hello from sunny Los Angeles. Now, we changed the time of the Coaches Cafe today, so we don't actually have anyone in the room. But what I thought I'd do is go ahead and share the information with you. Now, this information that I'm sharing with you today is some of the content from the Art and Science of Business Building for Coaches program that's going to be starting in October 2nd. So let's do logistics first. I'm out of my office. I'm in LA at the moment. And so you're probably wondering, okay, where's all his calendars? I'm here for about a week, but wanted to do the Coaches Cafe in any case to make sure that you got this information that I'm sharing. First thing, I just put up a new audio, and it's down there somewhere on the Facebook page, entitled To Grow Your Business, Stop Believing in Yourself. And so we're going to be, feel free to grab that audio, and you can also download it. And we're going to be, so that's the first thing. There's also a link there for the Coaches Cafe if you want to get more information on the Coaches Cafe. I see Miss Callahan coming into the room. Hello, Hannah.
Hi, Dermot.
How are you?
Good. I had to figure out a sound.
Good to see you. We, you know, we had a bunch of people signed up, but because we changed the time, I don't think they were able to make it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the Coaches Cafe today anyway. And what we'll do is, no pressure on you whatsoever.
So I'm the only one?
You're the only one. Well, you are the only one, Hannah.
Cool.
All right, we'll have some fun today. It may not go the full hour, but I'm going to share the content. And if you have any questions, you know, I'm going to share a bit of the content, and then I'll open it up for any questions. And I'm sure more people, I do have people that come, you know, usually we have 10 to 20 people in the Coaches Cafe. So I think just because today we changed the time, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway, just for the benefit, because I'm going to send it out to the people who couldn't make it today. So very nice to see you, Hannah. What part of the world are you in?
I'm in Flagstaff.
Oh, you're Flagstaff. Beautiful. I'm in sunny LA, where it's hot and humid.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice though. I can't complain. It's better than Irish weather, you know. All right. So we're going to be, so I just shared there's a link at the Facebook, Erickson Facebook page for an audio called To Grow Your Business, Stop Believing in Yourself. And you may think, oh, that's a kind of a bizarre thing to say, but when you listen to the audio, you really understand why trying to believe in ourselves has nothing got to do with creating a prosperous coaching business. Now, I learned that from my coach, Steve Chandler. I'm still learning it today. He's still my coach today. So let's jump in. All right. Now, the first, so it's the 5 things that coaches must stop doing in order to create a coaching practice. Now, just so you know, I've done all of these, and every now and then still do them. So this is not, it's not a prescription to, you must do these things because Dermot said. It's more of the description of, here's some of the things that you could think about. Here's some of the things that you could look at in terms of, are you doing these things? Are they working for you? And if they're not working for you, then it's time to stop doing them, or it's time to change what you're doing in order to build your business. When I first met my coach, he went through some of the things that we're talking about today and asked me, Dermot, are you doing these things? And I said, yeah, I'm doing all of them, and in multiple times during the day. And he said, well, you got to stop doing those because they're not making you money. They're not building your business. And he was very direct with me, and that really struck me. Because I was doing these things thinking that I was building my business, when in fact I wasn't. So we're gonna share them today, and feel free, anyone in the room, to ask any questions as we go through. Okay, so the first one, the first stop or suggestion. Again, it's a description, not a prescription. It's not something you have to do, but it's something that I would encourage you to consider in terms of business building. Is stop spending time on friends and family. There's more that don't want to pay you for coaching. Now, when I first started my business, excuse me, I just got a cough here. When I first started my business, I spent a lot of time asking friends and asking family and coaching my friends and coaching my family for free. Now, it was a great way to get practice, no question about that. But the thing that was not working for me was that I was coaching, my family and friends, and there was absolutely there was no commitment to the coaching. Like, my friends would show up and I would say, hey, so what do you want to talk about today? We have 60 minutes and we can talk about anything that you want. What would be the best use of our time today? And my friends would invariably say, oh, I don't know, Dermot, whatever you want to talk about. I mean, I'm here for you. I'm here, to do you a favor. So whatever you want to talk about. I said, well, it doesn't work that way. You have to bring something to the table that you want to talk about. Right? And so I had a lot of this going on and now one of the things that I was not doing with my friends and family was having some type of agreement beforehand, which means I never said to them, hey, look, we're going to have a 60-minute coaching session, and I'm going to invite you to think about something that maybe you want in your life that you don't have, or something that you would like to create in your life that you're not experiencing right now, something that you would like to be more of in your life, but you're not right now. See, I didn't do that. I just said, hey, look, I'm doing this coaching thing and I'm going through school. And, if you want to have a coaching session, well, give me a call, and what time are you available and what time am I available? And we took about 2 days just to get the availability right before I got a clue and got a scheduler. And so this would go on. I spent hours and hours doing this. Anyone else in the room has done this? All right. Hannah's not sure. All right. So I'm not saying not to do it, but what I'm suggesting is that you create clear agreements if you are going to coach family or friends. Now, if you're not charging them, that's totally fine, especially if you're still in school or you've just gotten out of school. You can totally get as much practice as possible. But here's the thing. When you're working with friends or family who are doing you a favor, wanting you to have practice at coaching, then you want to make some clear agreements. And one of the things that I found helpful after I'd done it for about a year, and I found that my family, my friends were not showing up, and they'd cancel at the last moment because there was no commitment. There was no real commitment. And I wasn't charging, so the money wasn't involved. So there was no money commitment. And one thing I've learned as a coach, that nothing commits people more than money. And the more money you charge for your coaching, the deeper the commitment is with the client. But when there's no money and it's kind of just loose, loosey-goosey, very hard for friends or family clients who are doing you a favor to really show up fully and to really go for something they want. It's more of like, I'm kind of doing you a favor. So my coach, after 3 years of doing this, said, Dermot, stop spending time on friends and family that are not willing to pay you for coaching and are not willing to show up fully for coaching. Now, again, if you're going through the program and you just want to get as much practice as you can, absolutely go for it. But at some point, I would encourage you to ask the question, okay, how much do I want to start charging for my coaching? And who do I want to start coaching? And if you're having, fun and with your friends and family, wonderful. But start to charge something, even if it's, $25 for an hour, or 25 euro, or 25 francs, or 25 Deutschmarks, or you get the picture. Charge something, because you will find that your friends and family will show up differently when you charge. Okay, so that's the first one. Do your best at some point to stop spending time on friends and family that don't want to pay you for coaching. Any questions out there from the class? And don't worry, Hannah, you don't have to come up with a question every time. We're doing this for the benefit of the students that are.
It's just it's an observation. So I'm coaching my brother.
Yeah.
And I have set up. So I always tell him, just hop on a calendar and find a time. And I have my own times. It works because he's in Europe. I'm on the West Coast. But I'm charging him. I'm charging him, 10 Czech coronas. Number one, I can submit it as a paid coaching. But what happened in the beginning is exactly what you said. It's just asking favors, and people cancel. They call from the car. The connection is not good. They cancel last moment, and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, wow, that's wonderful. Now, and you just come up with that on your own hand in terms of charging your brother for coaching?
Yes.
Were you coaching him with no charge at some point, or did you just start coaching
him with no charge? Yes.
Wow. Now, what inspired that, Hannah? Because that's impressive, I have to say.
Because I do. It's, if you give somebody, I always believe, if you give somebody a car, if you give your kid or anybody else a car, they will not take care of it as much as if you have to work for it and earn the money. Yeah,
that is so true. I remember, most of my kid life, I would have bicycles that I would put together. I would swap a bicycle wheel for a seat, or I was always like swapping things to build bicycles, and it was the most fun I ever had. And then my mother said, "You know what? Next Christmas, Dermot, I am buying you a new bike." And I said, "I can't wait. I've got a new bike coming." And anyway, she bought me one of these bikes. I don't know if you remember in the 80s, the choppers. Did you have those in America? They were like chopper bicycles, a little gear stick in the middle. They were wonderful bikes. And she bought me one of those, saved up for the whole year, because we didn't have much money in our family at all. And bought me the bike. And within 2 months, I had the bike wrecked. Mm-hmm. I had it stripped down. I had it beaten to heck. And I was already starting to swap new parts for it. And that's exactly what you're talking about, Hannah. There was no commitment to the bike whatsoever because it was handed to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So start charging, everyone. Stop not charging and start charging. All right. Thanks, Hannah. Very helpful. All right. Second one. Just looking at my notes here. Yeah, I have a note down here, You can improve your skills and get paid for it. You can be in the art and science of coaching, improving your skills, practicing with your family and friends, and get paid for it. And also the second thing that I found worked really well when I started charging, because I had the whole thing of, I'm not worth it, and I'm just in the program, and I'm just out of the program, 6 months, I can't be charging for coaching. And it's just not true. Because not only do you bring your skills as a coach, you bring all your life experiences. You bring all your wisdom. You bring all your intuition. You bring all the resources that you have inside. You bring that to the table. So it's not just, I'm not really a good coach and I don't really have anything going on. You're bringing so much more to the table. And you should charge for that. Because people they pay you for one thing and one thing only. Can you help me? And if you're even just going through module 1, not to say you're even finished the program, you can help people. There's no question about it. You can sit there, you can listen, you can be with another human being, you can listen from a heart-centered place, you can ask a few open-ended questions when you're curious and you're wanting to know more. And you can invite that client to ponder some things through your questioning. And that's enough. That's enough. You can impact people with just that. And that should be paid for. Now, it took me 3 years after the program. I didn't even charge for the first year of the program, because I'd been struggling for a little over 4 years to build my business. And then I got my coach, Steve Chandler, and my business just took off. Because I was doing some of the things that I was doing, Steve said, Dermot, you got to stop doing them. And one was giving away so much of my time to my family and friends and coaching them and being available all the time for my family and friends. Now, you guys might not be doing that, but I certainly did it for a good year. And then even for 2 years after that, I was still doing that while I was building my business. Okay. All right. Number 2, stop pleasing your clients. We don't serve our clients when we reinforce the illusion that they don't have the resources, that they can't do this, that they're not the type of person that can do X, Y, and Z, be X, Y, and Z, have X, Y, and Z, experience X, Y, and Z. You're not doing your client any favors when you're pleasing them. Now, I have an audio. I'll post it. I'll post it on the Facebook page. Let me just make a note of that. It's called Serving versus Pleasing. And I'll post that on the Erickson Facebook page for you. And that talks about how we try to please our clients. And sometimes what they need is the kind truth. Sometimes what our clients needs is loving disruption. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be we got to keep it clean here, so I can't think of a word without cursing. Let's say harsh with your clients. I'm Irish. I'm trying to soften it. Coaching is about love and disruption. Loving disruption, respectful, loving disruption. And sometimes we got to challenge our clients. When they come in with stories that they believe, beliefs that they believe that are limiting, things that they're doing that they think are helping them when it's clear that they're not, dreams that they have and they're holding themselves back. We don't serve our clients by pleasing them. And now I did a lot of pleasing for the first year. I was pleasing everybody. Oh, yeah, tell me all your stuff. And I would listen and listen and listen. I would never challenge the client. I would never want to upset the client. I would never want to push the client. And I still believe no advice giving ever. But that's not what I'm talking about. Advice giving and challenging the client are two different things. Now, I had a client I was working with, a lady, very talented lady. And her childhood dream, when she came to me for coaching, it was all about limiting beliefs and things that were holding her back. And after about 2 sessions, she shared with me her childhood dream. She shared with me that she wanted to open up this clothing line. And as a kid, she would put on different clothes and she would make up all these different patterns and designs and different things. Her grandmother was a seamstress, and she loved it. Now, I knew I was onto something because the 2 sessions prior, it was just like, oh, I got a lot of limiting beliefs and I got a lot of this and I got a lot of that. And there was no real engagement from my client. And I had asked her about her childhood stuff before, childhood dreams. And she said, oh, nothing really. I said, really, nothing? She said, yeah, nothing. But for this particular client, the third session is where some trust, where some rapport, where some intimacy was built for her. And remember, coaches, you don't know when that's going to happen. That's why you got to slow down with your clients. You got to build that rapport. You got to build that trust. How do you do that? You show up and you be with another human being. It's really that simple. And some people will trust and have rapport on the first session and it's all good and they're telling you everything. And other people need time. My client needed time. So I didn't come in with a hammer. Come on, tell me what you've got. You must have some dreams. I had to take it very, very slowly with that client. Laser, as opposed to the hammer. You know, hey, tell me a little bit about this and stay on that. Hey, tell me a little bit about this. What are some questions you haven't asked yourself about this? What's the direction you'd love to go, but maybe you're a little fearful? Softeners, 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 softeners. And anyway, she starts telling me about this dream that she has, or she's had, because she got married and she had kids. And she said, oh, it's over for me, Dermot. I said, well, tell me about the dream anyway, you know. So she tells me all about these different designs that she was creating as a kid and as a teenager, and she won all these awards. And just, it was like the caterpillar came out of the cocoon as a butterfly. And the client just started talking about this dream. It was really, really something. I mean, it really, really touched my heart. And welcome. I see some new people coming on. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Coaches Café. And she started talking about this dream. And now she's starting to create that for herself. But at some point I started, well, actually from day one, I was chipping away, not with a hammer, with a laser, chipping away at her beliefs, chipping away at serving her by challenging her beliefs, softly with rapport. Now, sometimes I'll come out with a hammer with a client and I'll tell the client flat, hey, that's just BS. That is just not true. And I'll give the client examples of why I know that's not true, because they've shared things with me. They've done things already. So it's not my opinion I'm giving. I'm mirroring back, reflecting back to the client some of the things they've told me they have done in the past. And that's very different than giving my opinions. So I'm just checking my notes here because I actually took some time to reflect on my own experience around serving versus pleasing. And so I want to make sure we get these notes. Yeah, we don't serve our clients by buying into the illusion that they're broken, by buying into the illusion that they can't create what they want, by buying into their illusion that they can't have what they want. It's not true. If the 5 principles are true, then that means that the client has all the resources to create a great life, to be successful. And if they don't have the resources in the minute, we as coaches can ask questions like, well, where would you get that connection? Where would you find that information out? Who do you know that could support you in building that? Who do you know that could help you create that? Who do you know who could give you that information? There's always a way to connect the client back to their own resources, always. So stop pleasing, start serving. And Dragon, if you can just put yourself on mute. Welcome, by the way. Here's what I found service means. So you can serve or you can please. And title of ours is Stop Pleasing, Start Serving Your Clients. Service is when you deliver a professional level coaching inside a well-paid agreement. So serving people leads to money and clients. Pleasing people usually leads to self-doubt, fear, and all of that stuff. So find ways to serve your clients. Every Monday I sit down and I think, how can I serve my clients? my existing clients, and I look at notes from the last session that we were in. I look at, I think about what was the client talking about in our last session. And then I think, oh, now what audios do I have? What MP3s do I have? Sometimes I'll make a video for a client and I'll send it to them and say, hey, you know, here's some extra thoughts I had about our session last week. See, that's serving the client. Challenging the client, that's serving the client. John, you know, I know you believe that to be true, but I wonder, could we poke some holes in that today to see if it's really true? If you really don't know how to build that, how to create that, when to do it, where to do it, why you're doing it. The best way to move a client past any stuck, any block, is to ask them the value. Why did you start doing this in the first place? So I started talking to my client. Tell me a little bit about your dream. Why was that valuable to you back then? And why are you still talking about it today? And that was the money question. She said, Dermot, she said, I felt I've taken the short road. I did this, I did that, and I never did what I really wanted to do. And I said, well, is it too late? And she said, oh yeah, it's too late. I'm 50. And I thought, oh God, I'm 50. I suppose I better hang it up too. And I said, really? Now I'm challenging the client. That's loving disruption. Really? It's really, really too late at 50. She said, well, I think it is, Dermot. I said, you know, you hear Louise Hayes? Oh, I love Louise Hayes. She's incredible. Well, you know, she started Hay House when she was close to 70. And it's one of the most, it's an amazing, amazing organization. So there's time. And I said to her, you know, what would be one safe softener, easy step for you to do to even just start looking in the direction of this dream? I didn't say anything about action plans and let's get it on the schedule and let's do it. Softeners. Some clients, the hammer, some clients, the laser. With this particular client, the laser. Everything had to be softened. When you have somebody who has a dream that's so big that they can't even look at it, you've got to start with the softeners. You've got to start easy. Okay. So serving clients leads to money. Challenging your clients leads to money. I have clients that I will challenge them, and then afterwards I will call them and say, look, I think that I was a little rough. Not rough, but I think I was a little heavy in the session today. I think I challenged you a little too much. Oh no, Dermot, it was wonderful. It was great. I really appreciated it. Now I have had clients saying, yeah, Dermot, that was a little rough. But see, that doesn't stop me from doing that. It doesn't stop me from challenging, from asking challenging questions to my clients. One of the things for years was I was afraid to lose my clients. I was afraid to make them angry. I was afraid to ask the wrong question. I was afraid to annoy my clients. I was afraid to challenge my clients in any way because I thought they'd cancel, to say, no, Dermot, I don't want to work with you anymore. You're not my coach. And I used to be so afraid I would tiptoe around clients in the first session. You know, like a complimentary session. I used to tiptoe around. Oh, I want them to like me. I better please them. You know, as children, we learn to please. As children, we're conditioned to please. That's how we learn. Oh, please my mommy, I'd be quiet, I'd be good. My mommy be happy, my daddy be happy. If I please, 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 please. But that doesn't work in building a business. That doesn't work in building a professional, successful, profitable, prosperous coaching practice. It doesn't work. Serving your client works. Being fully engaged with your client works. Showing up fully, conscious, present, ready for coaching, that works. Thinking about your client outside of the coaching hours. Like people say to me, oh, Dermot, so it's 4 hours of coaching per month, that's what I'm paying for? And it's like, no, not at all. a 6-month contract with me is 6 months of partner collaboration. And they say, well, what do you mean? I say, well, yeah, we'll meet twice a month for 2 hours, but I'm going to be sending you audios. I'm going to be creating videos for you. I'm going to be sending you books. I'm going to be sending you homework. You can email me as much as you want. It's a collaboration. I sit down, as I said, on Mondays, and I think about my clients. What do they need? What would they want? Oh, let me send this audio. Let me send this video. See, that's serving your client. Pleasing the client. Oh, I better not upset the client. No, what does the client want? And oh, no, it's totally fine if you think that story is true and for you, wonderful. But if a story is not supporting the client to move in the direction of their dreams, then it's your obligation, your responsibility, your commitment as a coach to challenge that story. Not easy. Not easy. And I don't mean it in a harsh way or a tough way or it's my way or the highway. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about hearing BS and mirroring it back to the client. I'm talking about hearing the client say, I can't do that. I can't do that. I do not, that cannot be true. That the client cannot have what they want. They cannot create what they want. It's just not true. And so our job as a coach is to dive into that with the client and really support them to move beyond stuckness, move beyond their limiting beliefs, move beyond the story that's holding them back from what they want. Questions, comments. Stop pleasing your clients. Start serving your clients. Any comments or questions or observations on that in your own practices? Hannah.
A lot of observations listening to you. I remember the recording that you sent some time ago, just about life in general, serving and pleasing, and where do you fit, and like looking at my life. You want people to like you. I wanted people to like me.
Yeah.
And somehow throughout my last year, I kind of am really comfortable where I am, who I am. And I'm bringing it to my coaching practice too. My website is orange. I love orange. It's just bold.
Nice.
And I'm just truly happy. This is who I am. This is what you get. And even if I put on the coaching hat and I'm fully present with the client, it's still come across because this is who I am. And when I show up authentically, I am present with you, my personality comes even more. And it's kind of letting go. Maybe I'm the right fit, I'm not the right fit, and I'm okay with both of them. I take golf lessons from one of the best teachers. And he's just a good fit for me. He challenges me all the time, and I pay him for that.
Yeah.
If he would not be, and I need more cuddling, I would go find somebody else.
Yeah.
And just letting that fear go, it means, and in my previous career, I fired clients because they were just taking my heart, my brain, my free moments. So it's freeing just to be who you are, and then it works much better.
Yeah, as a client, Hannah, I'm sure you've experienced this, that you do appreciate those times when the coach challenges you.
Yes.
Or pokes a hole in that story that is not serving you, or that belief that's holding you back. I mean, for me,
when I'm being coached, that's what I want to pay for. I want to see my blind spots because I'm the fish in the water, and I want to see what's out there because I have no way how to do it.
Yeah, and to be and for someone to hold you accountable to poking holes in those blind spots. Accountability is a big part of coaching, and one of the reasons that I was pleasing my clients for years was because I didn't want to hold them accountable. They would say, hey, I'm going to do these action steps. And I'd say, wonderful. What action steps? Tell me. Okay, let me write them down. And then in the next session, I wouldn't check in. I'd be like, oh, if they haven't done them, I don't want to challenge them on the action steps, you know. But there's lots of easy ways to do that. Hey, how did you get on with your action steps? Hey, what was the best part of you doing your action steps last week? Hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, 1 is low satisfaction, 10 is high satisfaction. How do you feel about your action steps? So there's lots of ways to, you know, that I've learned how to do that without saying, did you do your action steps? You better have done your action steps, I'm telling you. Thanks, Hannah. And Dragon, do you have anything you want to share? I'm going to take yourself off mute there. Any questions or comments so far?
Hi, sorry, I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, and feel free to put on your camera. You don't have to, but if you want to, you're more than welcome to.
No, for the moment, I think my camera's not working too well, so it's all right.
Now, I'm saying your name, it's not Dragon, it's Dragon.
No, it's not. I don't know why it's called Dragon here. I don't know how to change it, so I'll just leave it as it is. My name is Sue.
Sue?
Yes.
That's not even close to Dragon at all.
No, it isn't.
I'm going to go with Sue because Dragon, I don't know. I feel weird saying Dragon, but I thought it was Russian, so that's why I was saying Dragon.
No.
It was Sue, which
yes.
remotely doesn't sound like it.
No.
All right, Sue. What observations, questions, Sue?
I think at the moment, you know, this thing that you're talking about, how it's important to not have this client pleaser complex. Yes, I think this is quite important. But I think this is also a journey that all of us have to go through. I think it's an important step in figuring out what is important to us. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, are you still in the program, Sue, or you're finished?
No. I'm starting the program in October. I'm starting the whole diploma program in October.
Beautiful. You're gonna have a lot of fun. Enjoy the heck out of it.
I hope so. I hope so.
All right. Lovely to meet you, Sue.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to number 3. Now, this is one I'm laughing as I'm even thinking about it, but I did it for many years. In all honesty, I still do it a little bit today. Not as much now, but a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. Stop chasing your clients. Now, we're not used car salesmen. We're not used car salesman is the best one I can come up with. Stop chasing your clients. Needy is creepy. When you're needing your clients, it's kind of creepy. And you know, stalking is outlawed. And I used to stalk my clients. I used to email them every day. Hey, I'm just checking in. I'm just email. I'm just wanting to find out, are you still interested in coaching? I'm just checking in with you here. You know, I'm going to be away next week. And in case you email, I want to see if you're, you know, still up for some coaching. This kind of thing. Chasing the clients. Now, I'm just going to read my notes because I want to make sure that I share them with you because I spent some time on them. When you're chasing your client, it's coming from a place of insecure thinking. And the thinking is usually, I need this client. And if you need the money, it's coming from a place of, I need the money. But the honest truth is, you don't need that client's money. Now, if you do need money, go and get a job. Like one of the things that I will share in the first day of the program of the art and science of coaching is if you need money, go get a job. Because coaching to build your business. Now, if you're already out there and you're working with clients and you're building, great. But for a lot of coaches who are just building their business, I will say to them, because I work with coaches one-on-one, helping them build their business, say, look, if you need money from coaching and you have zero clientele coming in right now, then go out and get a job. Or don't quit your day job. Because I did it myself. for the first year, I was like, I need clients. I need clients. And people feel that. They feel that neediness. I don't care how tricky, how used car salesman you are, how many great techniques you have for closing sales, for getting clients. People feel that. Would that be fair to say? That people feel our neediness? They do. Now, that took me a while to really come to terms with that one. Because I was chasing clients all the time. So I'm going to encourage you to stop chasing clients. Start serving your clients. So how do we, here's something nice. You want to see the value of your service, not the value of you as a human being. You want to see the value of your service, not the value of you as a human being. Now, when you're chasing your clients, you're looking at your value. If I get a client, I'm going to feel better about myself. If I get paid for coaching, I'm going to feel better about myself. If I get that client, I'm a good coach. This is how I used to think. I didn't get that client, I'm a terrible coach. I'm a horrible coach. I probably should go back to school. Marilyn, I've got to do the course again. I'm a terrible coach. Now, I still have, can't think of a better word, crappy. I still have crappy sessions with clients today. Now, they're a lot fewer than they were a couple of years ago, but I still have a session where I go, oh, I don't know, I was pushing, or I was feeling insecure, or and then I'll email the client and say, look, could we do that session again? Or, hey, how was that session for you today? I mean, you said at the end it was good, but really, truly, I want to know, because I felt that I was off. Now, to do that in a session a couple of years ago, I would think, no way. They've got to know that I'm a powerful coach, that I'm a professional coach, that I'm a great coach. They can't look inside my head and see all the insecure thinking I have, which we all have that. You know, I have a load of nonsense going on in my head before I do the Coaches Café. And then once I start the Coaches Café, all the nonsense in my head goes away, and now I'm serving. Before the Coaches Café, oh, are they going to like it? They're going to like the content. Oh, am I going to be funny? Oh, am I going to be professional? Oh, should I wear the right shirt? All this nonsense. But see, I don't believe the nonsense. I used to, but now I don't believe it anymore. It's just nonsense. Just insecure thinking. So when we're chasing our clients, there's a lot of insecure thinking going on. And that's a human thing. That's not a you thing, coach thing. That's an us thing. We all do that. So stop chasing your clients and start serving your clients. Sit down and think to yourself. Like I do this every Monday. I sit and I think about my clients. I think about an organization. I work on my business. There's an audio down there somewhere on the Facebook page. Working on your business instead of working in your business. And it's a good one to look at. Because most coaches work in their business all the time. They don't take a step back and work on their business, which means looking at who do I want to serve? Not please, who do I want to serve? Who's somebody in my life, a client, that has reached out to me or has mentioned they're struggling? Who in my life is struggling that I could serve? You see, pleasing is, oh yeah, well, let's have a cup of coffee and you can just tell me all your woes and I'm going to listen because I want to please and just listen. And it won't be a professional conversation, but it'll be an hour of my time. It'll be kind of like a pretend coaching session. That's not serving the client. That's pleasing. When people say to me, Dermot, can we have a cup of coffee? I just want to run something by you. I say, I'd love to. But what would be more helpful, I'm serving the client. What would be more helpful is that we have a coaching session. We put it on the calendar. Now, there's no charge for that coaching session because I give complimentary sessions to clients. They have to have a taste. They're not going to buy dinner unless they at least can look at the menu. And so you give people a taste of coaching. You sell the experience, not the concept. And selling the experience is simply giving them an experience of coaching. And Sue, please make sure to put your, let me see if I have your, oh, I do. Okay, I have you on my list here, Sue. Because I'm going to be sending out the link to the recording. It'll go to the Facebook page, and I'll send you the link so that you can have it and re-listen to it, which I encourage all of you to do. So you sit down and you think about, who can I serve today? Who's reached out to me? What company would I love to work at? And you take time and you research that company, and you look at all the things they might be struggling with. You find out where you can, and then you think about how all the ways you can help that company, and you reach out to the company from that place, from a place of serving, not chasing. Chasing is, you call the company up and say, hey, which I used to do. Hey, I'm a great coach. I'm a wonderful coach. I'm probably, I'm pretty sure I'm the best coach on the planet. You got to hire me. I mean, you would be crazy not to hire me. Can I talk to somebody in HR, please? And usually it's like, send an email, because they get those phone calls all the day. Coaches chasing to get a client, chasing clients, not serving clients. When you go beyond what's expected for a client, when you're thinking about the client, when the client is not thinking about you, when you think about the client, when you go beyond what's expected, my best question I ever heard, and I ask myself it with every client, with every company that I work with this class that I'm presenting in October, how can I astonish the students? How can I astonish my client, my existing clients? How can I astonish them? How can I astonish a new client? How can I astonish a company into calling me? How can I astonish a client into wanting to work with me? How can I do that? And the best way is to serve them, to think about what is it they need. Send them a book, send them an audio, send them a video from YouTube or from some of the best coaches out there. My coach, Steve Chandler, go on YouTube, find something, send it to your client. Michael Neal, another one of my coaches, go on YouTube, look them up. Michael Neal, Steve Chandler, two of the top coaches on the planet, and send them something. Not them, your client. All right. Any comments on that one? Stop chasing your clients. Hannah's smiling here. I know Hannah's like,
this is like all worth it. Just I can turn it off and say goodbye. So I had on my list, that's what I eventually was going to ask. I have a couple people, those people that I really would like to work with. And I was holding on for some reason. I'm thinking, when I get better, right? When I get better as a coach, I'm going to approach these people. And what just space opened up and things fell together. It was all about me. It was all about waiting to show them how awesome coach I am, what I can do for them, instead of helping them, instead of serving them, instead of looking what do they need. And I already have so many ideas of things that I don't have to talk about coaching at all. I have tools that I know would help them in their job. That did not.
It's a totally different shift than what
it was all about me. When I get better, I will astonish them.
Yeah.
It seems so funny now.
Yeah, pleasing is about me. Serving
Yes.
is about them. That's the best way I could say that. Yeah, thank you, Hannah. Thank you. Yeah, really appreciating everything you're bringing today, Hannah. I'm so glad that you hung out. All right, here's one. Have you ever been on a date, and on the first date you say, gosh, this date is going really well. Would you like to be my husband and have babies? Has anyone ever done that? No. You wouldn't. You wouldn't dream of doing that. Yet, coaches propose too early in a client conversation. So number 4, stop proposing too early. You would not go out on a date and on the first date say, hey, this is getting pretty intimate. Should we go shopping for a ring? I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling the love. Are you ready to dive deep? You wouldn't do it. Why? Because there's a process to everything. Stop proposing too early. Let me look at my notes here. Date analogy, yes, did that. Your job is to make the client feel safe. Your job is to invite the client into a conversation of possibility, not a conversation of problem solving and affordability. Can I afford this? Can I not afford this? You see, the way I look at it is this way. I don't want you, the client, to guess if this is valuable to you. I don't want you to risk an investment. I want you, the client, to base it on the experience of the work itself. Now, when you propose too early, I'll give you an example. You have a complimentary session with a client. And please, coaches, start doing at least 60 minutes of a complimentary session. Because would you after 30 minutes of trying a new exercise machine, and the guy says the machine's $5,000, should you cash or check? You would say, whoa, hang on a minute. I've only been playing and looking at this thing for 30 minutes. I'm not about to give you a check for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. But coaches do that all the time. Hey, 30-minute session. Okay, how was it? Was it great? Did you like it? Were you know? So what do you think? You want to do some coaching? Here's my package. Right? Too early. You gotta. It's got to be like a relationship. You've got to schmooze. You've got to talk. You've got to get curious. You've got to be on your best behavior. You've got to find out what's important to the person. You got to find out what they're interested in. You got to find out their hopes and their dreams. You got to listen more than you're talking. And over time, marriage and kids and everything else comes. But coaches have a 30-minute session and then they ask the client, well, do you want to coach? When I do 2-hour sessions, now I'm doing 2-hour sessions. Used to be an hour. Now it's 2 hours with clients. And I coach them as well as I can. And the hour used to be good too. I used to do 30 minutes and then I did 45 minutes and then 60 minutes and then 90 minutes. Now I'm up to 2 hours. Next month it could be 4 hours. I don't know. And I coach them for 2 hours. And if the client says, I don't know, Dermot, I'm still on the fence. I'm not really sure. Now, we're going to talk more about this in the art and science of business building because it's so important that the relationship, the process of how that works. But I say, yeah. I said, I don't want you to invest your money in this if you're not committed. That's serving the client. Pleasing the client is, oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I understand. I mean, take as much time as you want. I'm here 24/7. Just call me whenever you think you might want to do some coaching. That's pleasing the client. You show leadership and in the close when you're serving the client. John, I understand this is a big commitment, and I don't want you to commit to this work unless you actually want to. I don't want you investing money in yourself if you're not ready to do that. So let's do this. Let's have another session because I know it's a big commitment. It was a big commitment when I hired my coach, and I still have him today. I said, let's do another session. Do another hour. And before you go, tell me some of the things you got from our session today. So you leave the conversation in the context of possibility, not affordability. You always want to finish your conversations with, what did you get from this? What did we miss today? What would you like to talk about in the next session? And you give the person another hour of their time, of your time and their time. Because sometimes it's a process. It's a relationship. Coaching is a relationship. It's about conversation and connection. That's relationships. Conversation and connection. You connect with another human being. You have conversations with another human being. And some of my clients, they're ready to go in the first session. And other clients, it takes them a while. Sue, you're off mute, Sue. Go ahead.
Yes, hi. Yes, I just wanted to ask about this. I've heard you say this a couple of times before. I think even Steve Chandler mentioned this, that sometimes at the end of the first coaching session that you have with a client, that you decide that it's not appropriate to close, and then you have another complimentary session with them, like what you just said. So my question is, what is the criteria for deciding whether or not you should have one more complimentary session?
Sometimes it's intuition, sometimes it's a feeling. So the question is, what's the criteria for deciding whether or not to do another session with the client? You have one complimentary, and the client, you'll hear it. The client will say things like, gosh, I don't know yet, Dermot. I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence. I have to talk to the wife. I have to talk to the parrot. I have to talk to my company. I'm very interested, Dermot, but I'm just not 100% sure yet. It's a lot of money, you know, or whatever it might be. It's a lot of time. And I say, yeah. It gets worse. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of money. It's a big commitment, and also, you know, I'm going to be challenging you a lot. So yeah, there's a lot on the plate. I would absolutely think about it. That's serving the client. Pleasing the client is, oh yeah, take all the time you want, and no, I'm afraid to talk about the money and, you know, all of that stuff. So sometimes it's an intuition, Sue, and sometimes it's just the client will say, I'm not ready. In some way, shape, or form, they'll say, I'm not ready. And you say, yeah, of course, I understand. Let's do another session. Anytime the client is not ready to coach with you, it's not because they don't like you or because of this or because of that. It's because they haven't had enough of an experience of coaching to decide whether or not it's valuable for them. Never about you. Always about the client. Never about you. So if you know, if the client shares that, say, yeah, let's do another hour, and let's dive in a little bit deeper than we did today and see what we can explore for you. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, great question. That comes up a lot. All right, now with your permission, if you have to go, it's top of the hour. I'm going to go for another 10 minutes. And just do the last one.
Quick question. So at the end of every complimentary session, you do talk about the proposal.
About the coaching package?
Money, about how the relationship works.
No, I don't. Now, if the client says to me, Dermot, how much do you charge? I'm happy to tell them. It's not a big deal. But I don't talk about, usually I don't talk about money until at the end of the first session. If the client's like, okay, Dermot, how does this all work? I'd like to work with you. Then, of course, you take out your package and say, hey, I have a 6-month and a 10, 12-month. What would suit you best? Yeah. And Hannah, there's a video on the Erickson Facebook page. How should my coaching packages look like? There's a 1-hour thing. I talk all about the conversations that need to happen on that. And then we do a second session. At the end of the second session, again, you'll feel it. And if not, you say, hey, so where are you with coaching, John? Oh, Dermot, I'm ready. Okay. And now I'm serving the client. Let me bring some leadership to the close. So here's how I work. This is the commitment that I ask from you. It's a 6-month commitment minimum. The price is this. You can pay this way, and this way. I will send you an invoice. And once the invoice is paid, we'll start our first session. And I always put the first session on the books before we end the conversation. Does that make sense, Hannah?
Yes. What I found so far, they are very rushed conversations.
Yeah, you have to slow it down. You have to slow it down.
End of the session, and it's like boom, 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 and it ends. Okay, it just does not feel. I don't have a problem personally talking about it. It just the conversation is very it's rushed.
Yeah, yeah, and it's usually rushed because the coach is feeling insecure about talking about the money. Not always, but most, and that's based on my own experience too, and working with a lot of coaches. So you slow them down, you practice saying your fee. It's one of the things you'll learn in the program is practicing how to say your coaching fee. It's very important that you own the fee so that when you say it, it doesn't come out like, oh, I charge, $20,000 for 3 months or $20,000 for 6 months. is that okay? Would that be okay? Would you mind pay it? Would that be okay to pay that? That's how I used to work. Practice your fees. Stand in front of the mirror. Hey, I charge, whatever it is, $6,000 for a month of coaching or 3 months of coaching. I charge $10,000 for 6 months of coaching. And keep practicing it until you own it. Because I used to say it to the clients, but there would always be an awkwardness there because I don't own it. And slowing down is very powerful too, Hannah. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. All right, let's go to the last one. Activities. Number 5, stop doing activities that don't make you money. Now, we talked about coaching your friends and your family that don't make you money. But if you want to get practice and you want to up-level your skills, wonderful. But at some point, start charging. Even if it's $10 or $5, people show up differently when you charge. So I've got 2 questions on this last one, and then we're going to close. Number 5, stop doing the activities that don't make you money. Now, I used to do a lot of Facebook, LinkedIn, social media, Instagram, webbing, blogging, video blogging, emailing, lists, newsletters, you name it, all this stuff I was doing. None of it made me any money at all. But I filled my day for 4 years. I filled my day with blogs and all this stuff that I thought that I was told would make me money. Wasn't making me any money. I was still making less than $20,000 a year. Now on my calendar, the only thing I have on my calendar is clients. I think about who do I want to work with. I research them. I think, how could I serve them? What could I send them? What could I give them? What could I say to them? What could I share with them? And I invite people in to have a conversation with me, not to get them as clients, because needy is creepy. Not to get them as clients. I invite them into a conversation of possibility. Now, it used to be before I would invite them into a conversation to get them as a client, get my Irish claws in them. But now I invite people into a conversation of possibility. And I don't spend any time doing all the other stuff. I mean, I upload some videos onto the Erickson Facebook page. But that's it. The rest is I'm looking at clients, I'm looking at companies, how can I serve them? And then I reach out to them, whether it's an email or a phone call, or I go in and I say, hey, you know what? I'm a coach in the area. And I thought you might like this, and I give them a book, or I give them a video, or I create a video for them based on their own small business or whatever it is. I'm getting ready to work with a lot of small businesses in the town that I live in. And my idea is very simple. I'm going to research the business, create a little video, put it on the thumb drive, and walk in, introduce myself, and say, hey, look, I'm not looking for anything. You may never look at this, but I created a video to help you make more money in your business. If it's interesting to you and you like it, please give me a call, and we can have a conversation about it. And that's my whole sales marketing thing. So $2 for a thumb drive. That's it. I don't spend any more money on all the stuff that I used to spend money on, marketing and sales and all of that stuff. So got 2 questions, and then we're going to close. They're really simple questions. What activities are making you money? What activity? All right, dinner's here. You got green juices?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, nice. What activities are making you money? And what activities are not making you money? That's it. Look at those two questions and look at all the activities that you're doing that are not making you money. Look at all the activities that are making you money. Now I'm going to upload this into the Facebook page. Everyone that's on the list today, I will send out this link to the Facebook page to you. And Sue, with your permission, I will put you, Hannah, you're already on the weekly Coaches Inner Circle, right? So I have a Coaches Inner Circle. Sue, with your permission, I'll put you on the Inner Circle list, and every Monday you'll receive a video from me. But if you don't want that, just say no.
Yes,
yeah.
no, that'll be great. It'll be great.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
looking forward to it.
All right. I want to thank you both, Sue and Hannah. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you very much for all your questions and comments and just sharing your own experience about coaches, because I think that's one of the things that helps most is when coaches share their own experience of the coaching journey. It helps other coaches more, I think, more than most people, I think, most coaches know. So thank you so much, both of you, for doing that today. And the next Coaches Café, well, there's a link in the chat to the Coaches Café. There's also a link above the video to the next Coaches Café. You can also download the brochure and all the information to the Art and Science of Business Building, which you've gotten some content from today, starting in October 2nd. Until then, think big, have fun, stay curious. Thanks, everyone, for coming today. Thanks, Hannah.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.